Hey everybody, Alex here, healthhacksreview.com. Infrared sauna expert, as well as expert with a variety of cutting-edge breakthrough healing devices, medical devices, health equipment. Anyways, this video is about a couple things that are interrelated, which is ideal practices or protocols to mobilize toxins in the body. And so you might want to Google one thing, and I'll put in the description below, and it is hydrotherapy. Just read a little Wikipedia article just about the basic principles of hydrotherapy, because in there it's actually related to guiding us on what kind of infrared sauna we might want, especially if we're in a commercial setting and we're treating all kinds of different conditions. But it's important to understand the idea of hot and cold in the body and how microcirculation works in both the lymphatic system and the circulatory system. And this we can actually back into the idea of getting certain types of exposures of heat, like in the form of infrared, possibly, in the case of infrared saunas, to different areas of our body based on specific health conditions or health goals. Okay? And furthermore, to enhance your infrared sauna usage, one might actually want to apply cold thermogenesis principles or just hydrotherapy principles around using cold, again, also in specific areas of the body. And I'll definitely let you know where you might want to put the cold in this video. So regarding infrared saunas, one company that I do like out there is Sauna Core. They do a medical grade insert in the seat. Nobody else does that. It's basically an infrared emitter that comes up through the seat, and so it can directly irradiate your colon with infrared. So the purpose of having something like that is that you have a huge amount of blood supply that goes through your digestive tract and colon. One of the main reasons is to always be taking nutrients out of what's going through your digestive tract. That's why you have a lot of blood going down there. So wherever there's a lot of blood flowing, it's advantageous for most health goals or conditions to irradiate that with infrared, like an infrared sauna. Okay, and so with a lot of blood down there and a lot of nerve endings that get stimulated by the infrared, thus sending more blood to the area, having infrared through an emitter that's coming up through the seat might be advantageous for certain types of health goals and conditions. Okay, so there is a lot of interesting efficacy and sound logic and principles behind having that medical grade insert. But even if you don't have that medical grade insert, with another infrared sauna where you're just getting a lot of infrared exposure, there is the technique of, after you're doing your infrared sauna session or throughout a longer term one, maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, you actually come out of the sauna either at the end or intermittently and sit in a cold bucket full of ice that just goes up to below your navel. So it's very, very low, okay? You're basically just sitting mostly in cold, cold water. You can also just go in and fill up a bathtub if the water's cold enough and sit in that to a very shallow level. And what that'll do is stimulate that area of your body, and all the blood and the toxins that get mobilized and released with infrared throughout the whole body. Your liver is obviously cleaning up a lot of that. But your goal is ideally to take a lot of that blood away, especially from the peripheral nerves, centralize it through the core of your body with cold, and get it down and down into the digestive and elimination organs, the colon. So one way to bring it downwards and focus that blood flow is with cold. And that's a few thousand-year-old hydrotherapy practice. It's a great thing to do. And detoxification clinics and some of these certain types of centers always do this sort of hot cold therapy when they're doing traditional sauna or infrared sauna. Okay, so that's another little tip for you that kind of takes it to the next level. The more toxic you are, if you really know you have a lot of stuff to release, then it helps a lot with preventing Herxheimer's and also potentially causing more inflammation or issues elsewhere in your body. For example, when you mobilize a lot of toxins, out of, let's say, one region of your body, lower up. You don't want a lot of it circulating and making its way upwards into glandular systems and the brain and all that kind of stuff, right? You want to just make sure it goes down and out of your body. So furthermore, when there's also a timing to taking chelating or absorbitant agents, so that by the time your liver filters out everything and then spews that into your small intestine through bile, you really want to make sure that you're taking an adequate source of fiber and or a binding agent, because throughout your digestive tract, even though you're getting a lot of blood down there, you still have a lot of reabsorption enterically through, because there's a lot of nerve endings of toxins that keep on recycling back through. So taking things like chlorella, activated charcoal, zeolite, different types of clays, et cetera, are before your sauna usage and or before you eat a meal, a fatty meal, is the perfect timing for when all those toxins that your liver just cleaned out of your system that got mobilized from infrared gets absorbed and doesn't reabsorb through your elimination tract, okay, and colon, etc. So there's two things here. We want to stimulate through cold compresses. That's another key. If you don't want to sit in something cold, you can put a bag of ice as low on your abdomen as possible, or sit on the ice. And I've even known some people that do sit on the ice inside of the sauna. And that's actually also pretty effective as well, because your whole body is warming up with infrared in your blood. And at the same time, you're having something very cold down at the end of your elimination tract. So you can actually, for time-saving purposes, do that sort of protocol as well. If you don't want to sit on it again, you can put it below the navel for sure, as low down as you can, which is right in front of where your large intestines are and colon area. All right. And then another sort of tip, if you really want to go to the trouble, it's not too much trouble, but do a castor oil pack, C-A-S-T-O-R, castor oil. Just look up how to do castor oil pack on Google. And some people also, to get maximum effect, is you do a castor oil pack over your liver, okay? And if you have an emitter system that's coming from the side wall of your sauna, you'll basically shift yourself all the way as close as possible to that side emitter. And ideally, I mean, well, your liver is on your right hand side of your body, so you're going to scoot yourself on the bench close to that right emitter on the right wall, and maybe even sometimes twist your body just a little bit so you can get more direct infrared exposure over your liver when you're doing the castor oil pack. Okay, so that heat is fantastic, especially infrared heat going through the castor oil, and that's one of the best ways to actually, it does a lot of things. I'm not going to list it all out, but it aids greatly in the flushing and moving of bile and the gallbladder and the liver and all that kind of stuff, and has many more actions besides that. So something consistently like that done, the types of accelerated benefits with mobilization of toxins you can get, including, again, all kinds of other benefits. Whenever you aid your liver and gallbladder, you're basically aiding every single aspect of your body, especially over time. Every single aspect, okay? So it's a great thing to do, because you're just sitting there anyways in your sauna. Why not multitask and do something else that brings it to the next level? If you then bring in cold therapy and you're taking the binding agents, this is a very integrative, holistic, balanced, cautious, very wise sort of protocol for even somebody that is loaded with toxins, like extreme levels, okay? The type of person. So, but the only thing I would say is this, is if you are one of those people that are extremely loaded with toxins, you've gotten the adequate testing to show such a thing, you don't want to just dive into this, even though it really greatly helps your body. I would keep the castor oil packs, hold off on those for just a couple months down the road, okay? The cold therapy you can probably keep in. There's not so much of an issue with that at all. You can still keep that, and that'll greatly help with Herxheimer's. The most important factor, if you're very overloaded though, is taking those binding agents at the right timing. So usually, this is exactly what I recommend, is you do your infrared sauna session, okay? and it's about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour, okay, whatever it is. Immediately right after, you're going to want to take your activated charcoal, chlorella. Those are great as combination together. Very affordable if you buy them in bulk, especially. And zeolite is good as well. There's some types of clays from like Vitality Herbs and Clay.com, and they have some good clays there as well. And so when do you take that? Well, ideally right after that sauna session. You'll consume a meal within an hour, it could be immediately or within an hour, that has some fat in it and also has some fiber in it. And so that then the liver will use bile and clean up your whole system. So in general, actually, I usually say people wait like an hour or so. When you're using infrared and you're mobilizing a lot of toxins, you have in general 24/7 way more toxins being mobilized, especially if you're doing infrared sauna sessions every other day or every day. So your liver is always kind of cleaning up your system, especially when you go to sleep at night. So if you're cumulatively doing infrared sauna sessions like that, you're going to generally want to do this meal, taking the binding agents before the meal sort of thing for a couple meals a day, usually lunch or dinner, okay, or right before sleep. Because again, your body's going to be releasing a lot more all the time. And if the more heavily overloaded you are with toxins, and a lot of people are, if you really want to not tax your immune system as much, keep on reabsorbing toxins that you keep on having to cleanse and move out of your body, you take these binding agents. And again, just small amounts of fat in your meals, and again, good amounts of fiber in that meal as well is kind of the ideal balance for aiding with getting the bile through the intestinal tract, especially again with the binding agents. And you can really ensure that you're preventing a huge amount of reabsorption, most of it, by doing that protocol. That's a protocol that you'll find standard at any sort of detoxification, sort of alternative healing health center sort of place. And this is something you can easily do affordably at home. And what this also allows you to do is progress faster in your sauna usage. So even if you're really overloaded, you can make a huge amount of progress in a month or two. Before you know it, you're turning up the heat on your sauna sessions even higher. You're in there for long periods of time. You're doing the castor oil packs. And if you want to take all this to the next level, you have to stimulate your lymphatic system even more so. And to do that, you need to use something like a rebounder. I recommend like a Cellerciser. And I do sell those, by the way, as well. I sell all different sorts of rebounders that I've reviewed over the years, but Cellerciser I feel is the best for many reasons. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video. Cellerciser is, remember, when you're jumping up and down on one of these properly, you're stimulating the body with 3 to 4 times its normal weight for brief moments. Multiply 3 to 4 times your current weight, that's a lot of force. And so that flushes and moves the lymphatic system, and does have an effect, of course, on circulatory system and other things as well. And as you're forcing and moving lymphatic system down with this extra hypergravity, that's great because that's where the elimination of toxins is going anyways, downwards with gravity. So those work really well. I've also reviewed and I deal with 10 different brands of whole body vibration machines. If that's another type of product you're interested in, usually in commercial sort of settings, they almost always have whole body vibration machines because they do a lot more than a rebounder. The physics of it and the principles are the same between rebounders and whole body vibration machines. It's just because whole body vibration machines are motorized, you can accomplish a great deal more in a way shorter period of time. So they're just more efficient and effective for the types of health benefits that we see and the way that it stimulates the body. Okay, so whole body vibration machine, ideal if you want on more of a tighter budget, and then a rebounder. This is again what most commercial sorts of clinics are doing. And the timing of this is we basically do these types of other equipment that stimulate the lymphatic system especially and circulation. There's a few ways to do it. You can do it right before your infrared sauna session, which is good. You can do a longer infrared sauna session, then like midway through, come out of the sauna, use the rebounder or the whole body vibration machine. Some people do this multiple times. They go in and out and in and out. They do that. Short sessions of a few minutes on the whole body vibration machine or rebounder, back in the sauna for 10, 15 minutes. Just depends on your preference. And then some people just do the whole body vibration machine after the whole sauna session. In general, if you're not going to do it in between, I'd recommend just a few minutes before your sauna session and a few minutes after your sauna session would be a really good balanced protocol. It's pretty simple. You're not going in and out. And then again, you can incorporate these other things like the castor oil pack and the cold hydrotherapy sort of principles. Another Google term you just might want to look up if you want to read about the exact sitting in cold water protocol. It is known as a sitz bath. It's S-I-T as in Tom, Z as in zebra, sitz bath. You can Google sitz bath hydrotherapy, sitz bath, cold water, all these sorts of things. And any of that should be able to pull up what I'm talking about through Google. But these are some sorts of detoxification sort of hacks, if you will, to accelerate your progress. And of course, this is after you find good equipment, right? Which can definitely help you select. But again, these are additional things to take you a lot farther, a lot faster that I've seen work amazingly and that have been used traditionally in clinics and commercial settings for at least 20 years, I would say. So, as always, if you need any assistance, give me a call on my website or just fill out the email response form on the contact support page, healthhacksreview.com. Thank you for watching. Be happy to help you.